Wigan in 2 Wembley finals back in 1989 and 91, but they've never lost at the first hurdle for 10 years. "16 meetings between these two clubs in the Challenge Cups, and Helens have 2 Wembley wins over their rivals way back in the 60s, but I think of greater significance is the fact that Wigan have won the last 8 battles between the two sides. Tremendous atmosphere, as there always is between these two great Lancashire rivals. The tension seems to go up a notch or two whenever the referee bangs on the door. And he's had a lot of work this morning as that referee, John Holsworth. He was here helping the groundsman, and certainly I think he's made the right decision to say that this match is on.
Yes, I would agree with that. It was out early, digging around with the forks, probing the water table beneath the pitch. And to be honest, everyone here is pleased that the game's going ahead, Steve.
It is. Since 11 o'clock today, there was quite a lot of water, surface water, but as the day's gone on and the rain's eased off a bit, it's cleared up a lot, and there's not so much water on it. I think it's a good day for rugby league.
Well, the players are professionals. They will adapt to whatever the conditions are, but certainly there'll be plenty of work for the forwards there. Shane Cooper, especially the Saints skipper, and loose forward. A lot of tackling will be expected up front. Prescott will certainly be tested there at full-back, but I think it'll be the big men. Jonathan Neal, a lot of pressure on the front rows. Bobby Goulding, and the usual, well, round of boos, good-natured I must say, from the Wigan supporters, but from the Saints fans, the cheers. A lot of tension on those faces, Terry.
Yes, St Helens will be a little bit nervous, and it's a tall order for them, and we're expecting a thrilling encounter, Ray.
And, well, Silk Cut Challenge Cup ties come second nature to these men. 36 times unbeaten in the cup rounds, a staggering record. Kelvin Skerritt, Martin O'Fire, hat-trick last weekend, Martin Hall, and the Wigan fans brought up on success and expecting that proud record to continue this afternoon. Vainga to Wingamala there, the giant Kiwi. Paul Aitchison, the substitute. Wigan coach Graham West welcomes back his young wing ace Jason Robinson after a hamstring injury, and the teenager Andy Farrell packed his huge frame in second row after ankle ligament problems. But let's pay tribute to a permanent feature in those team lists during a Challenge Cup run, skipper Sean Edwards, his 37th successive cup round clash. And there'll be much interest in this St Helens team, and all that interest, I'm sure, will centre on the midfield. Whether coach Eric Hughes' gamble of playing Welsh hero Scott Gibbs, he's been out for 6 weeks after a hernia operation, as to whether that pays off. He has the talent, but will the mud hinder a recovery? And an even bigger gamble on the wing, Alan Hunt lines up against the cup holders just 11 days after having a large section of his cartilage removed. Saints in determined mood to halt that disastrous record of recent seasons, and Sean Edwards there, the Wigan skipper, a record 8 cup winners' medals. Shane Cooper, 8 seasons with Saints, and yet still looking for a first winners' medal. Referee John Holsworth in the background there, being very active, and both of these skippers and the fans know just how much it means to these two Lancashire towns. John Holsworth, no stranger to the Challenge Cup, twice officiated at Wembley and 14 seasons in the middle. He got through an awful lot of work this morning, did that referee, pacing up and down the pitch, checking whether it was fit. But all credit to the groundsman, Derek Jones. He's worked hard, his staff have been with pitchforks, and we're underway, Steve. It should be a cracker.
It will be a good game. There's 2 top-class teams. The conditions today, both coaches said they'd sooner better conditions than this. But it's a game against 13 against 13, and you're going to see an exciting game of rugby league.
Wigan, Botica then to kick off. 15 times the Challenge Cup winners. St Helens, 5 times winners. A unique record at stake for the cup holders, Wigan. They've had narrow escapes in the past. I can remember them almost going out to Halifax a couple of seasons ago. Hull last year, 22-21 they scraped through, but they're still here with that record. Can St Helens take it off them, Terry?
Well, I think the conditions and the injuries make it an interesting clash, but I would say they need to be at the very best, and Wigan need to be out of sorts.
You'll see here in the replay, John Holsworth has shown his hand straight away. He's not going to put up with anything around the play the ball area.
Well, I think I can add a little background to that, Steve. Greg McCallum, the referees director, sent all the referees a letter this week that he wanted the the balls being strictly applied. He didn't feel that they were last week and the week before.
Well, he's got to keep it up because it has certainly improved our game. It's got a lot faster, and I'm sure the fans like it that way.
St Helens then in action. Kieran Cunningham, the young 18-years-old hooker. Shane Cooper directing operations. Good dummy from Cooper. He's got support from Scott Gibbs. And an obstruction.
Yeah, super break here from Scott Gibbs, and there was obstruction in the supporting play there. Well spotted by Mr Holdsworth, but a nice little start for St Helens this.
And Jonathan Neal, one of St Helens' men coming back from injuries. Saints' first attack, Bobby Goulding looking to go down that blind side. The switch inside to Pickavance. Pickavance driving for the line. Oh, Pickavance is over. Well, a superb drive down that blind side. Prop forward, Pickavance in there on the side. And it was set up by Bobby Goulding. Goulding switched to the back. Pickavance used to play on the wing. He's got an extra yard of pace, and he fooled Wigan, didn't he, Steve?
He did. You'll see Bobby Goulding, a great running across field, inside ball. Now, I think you'll find there that they've tried to run at Cowie. Cowie comes across now. He's actually a passenger. Early on in about 4 tackles ago, he's hurt his arm or shoulder, and he had difficulties there, Cowie.
This tactic, Steve, of running on the angles on this soft surface will be really important today, and really St Helens has seized the initiative with a great piece of play.
St Helens then throw down the gauntlet to the cup holders. And Bobby Goulding, the league's leading goal scorer at the moment, hoping no doubt to join former Saints players like Austin Rhodes, Kel Koslitz, who have led the goal scorers at the end of a season. Goulding then composing himself. He's been out for 3 weeks with a bad shoulder injury. Has he lost his accuracy? It doesn't appear so. 2 points from Goulding. So St Helens straight in the lead, 6 points to 0.
That's a great start for St Helens there. Getting the lead from the early moments there. Put Wigan under some pressure. There's Goulding, good angle play there. And Pickavance showing a lot of strength there. Over the top of Henry Paul and over for a good try.
Yes, I believe this tactic will be crucial today. Goulding, a lovely pass inside and straight running, determined, great play from Pickavance.
And Richard, I understand you've got some news for us down there already.
Yes, Ray, you might notice that Wigan's Neil Cowie is holding his right arm a little gingerly. He's jarred his elbow. That's aggravated an old injury. His wrist has been taped up, so they're keeping a close eye on that one.
And that was a bad slip there by Sonny Nicol. Both coaches were talking about mistakes, but it's these mistakes that let Wigan back in here. Andy Farrell driving in. And there is Neil Cowie. He certainly doesn't look very happy. Sean Edwards to Clark, back to Dennis Betts. Conditions a little bit different here to what Betts was accustomed to in Australia last week with the 7. Jason Robinson driving for the line. Good tackle by Shane Cooper. Martin O'Fire putting the pressure on. Oh, and a good switch by Sean Edwards. Connolly. Gary Connolly putting pressure on David Lyon there with the kick for 1 minute. I think he and young Prescott tried to let it roll dead, but safety first. They put the kick in.
So in the replay here, Conley puts a little grubber kick in behind the line there, and St Helens get back there. Yeah, Prescott, he cleaned it up. There was some great defence there after a mistake after they scored a try, which does happen a lot of times in this game. You score a try, they kick off, and then you give the opposition possession back.
Difficult conditions to put a drop kick in, the ball holding in the mud there. The pressure then still on St Helens, although leading, just 5 minutes gone, 6 points to 0. Wigan driving in here down the middle, using these big forwards. Sean Edwards putting that switch on again, a lot of angled running here. Phil Clark going for that line, just 5 metres short here now. Martin Hall back to Edwards again. Frano Botica inside to Tringamala. No, it's Tringamala with some space, and Tringamala goes in at the corner. The deflection, I think, fooled the St Helens defence. Tringamala had a second strike at that ball. He managed to grasp it, and when this big Kiwi sees the line, there's no holding him. His 15th try of the season, and Wigan are back in contention.
Yes, Wigan a little bit 6s and 7s here. Hall looks to go left, switches down the blind to Edwards. Beautiful ball out here. Botica feeds inadvertently, I would say, there to Igamala, but you cannot give this man any space at all, because he just picks up his momentum and he's like a juggernaut to stop, especially on this surface.
You see here, Scott Gibbs comes in, overcommits himself there. Vivas had him there, and Twigamala is unmarked out there. There's only a winger on the outside, and they can't get across in time. It all happened to play the ball before the try was scored there, where Wigan attacked behind the play the ball area. They split the St Helens markers, and Phil Clark went straight up the middle.
Well, it's certainly all action here at Central Park. Frano Botica then now seeking to do what Bobby Goulding did. That's the kick, and just 5 metres in from the touchline. The quiet Kiwi here at Central Park, massive point scorer. Botica with the kick, and well, a very rare miss there for Frano Botica.
Yeah, a rare one there for Botica, but what a great try from Tuigamala. He's awesome in his power and his strength, and his ball handling skills has been a joy to see the last few weeks of the season. Here we see him just picking up the ball inadvertently, a bit of a juggle, but then he just picks up, and there's no stopping him from that distance. A super handoff as well.
Yeah, they showed plenty of power here. But Frano Botica, now you notice there's two men, Scott Gibbs and Vivas, that come into Botica. He's unmarked Twigamala, and you can't let a man his size and his pace without anyone in front of him.
Wigan just taking the time, regrouping here, and I'm sure that we'll see plenty of kicking in this match. Neither side will want to be close to the try line when there are plenty of mistakes about and a wet ball. Rick Evans going in again, looking lively, and offside. Offside under the post. Mr. Holsworth getting Wigan right, and that's another directive these referees have had. Greg McCallum felt that there was too much talk around the play the ball, and there we see them. Mr. Holsworth had got back the 10 metres, Wigan hadn't.
Ray, it was what I was talking about before. A team scores a try, they get the ball back. Instead of concentrating, have a good 6 out from your line again, they come up with an error and turn possession over to the opposition.
Yeah, poor concentration there, Steve, there. You know, in the few minutes we've had thus far, it's been mistake-ridden from both sides, but it's making it an absolutely superb clash.
It is, and the mistakes, I have to say, is not put down to the conditions of the ground.
And all this really came from that drop-out, because Dennis Betts let the ball go dead direct from the kick-off, didn't it?
He did. That's a bad mistake, and you should be, as I say, you look to control the ball for 6 tackles.
And a success there for Bobby Goulding, so that edges St Helens out a little further, 8 points to 4. And that mistake resulting in 2 points. Prescott. run there from Scott Gibbs. You know, he's made an amazing recovery from a hernia to be playing in, what, 4 weeks?
Yes, he's a very strong and direct player, is Gibbs, and very, very vital to the St Helens initiative this afternoon. And
yet,
that little run will do in the world of good.
And yet, Steve, this heavy pitch will not really suit these players from St Helens returning from injury.
Well, it won't, but it also gets down to the medical treatment they get these days and your physiotherapy and that. And I know St Helens have got a good one in Jeanette Smith that getting these players back on the park ready for the games.
Bobby Goulding then looking to pin Wigan back with that right footer. He does. He doesn't find touch, but Wigan, in the shape of Jason Robinson, will have to bring it away. Oh, and that's good covering. That was superb play by St Helens number 7 Goulding. He followed up, and there he is again, setting the example. Henry Paul wondering whether he was tackled or not. Mr. Holsworth saying he was, when the elbow or the ball touches the floor. But Wigan opening up here in their own 20-metre area. This adventurous play, superb effort here. Gary Connolly racing downfield, he's got a fire inside, he's going to go himself. Oh, superb effort from Prescott. Gary Connolly took Prescott on himself. He couldn't get the ball inside to Martin O'Fire. Excellent rugby.
It's some great play. Gary Connolly, you can just see the look of determination on his face there, and there's plenty of support inside. The fire was inside, but Steve Prescott, a great cover tackle there, and a good decision from the touch judge who was out.
I would say Connolly had the ball in the wrong hand as he was accelerating down the field there. He could have possibly handed the fullback off with a good execution.
Ooh, Bobby Goulding nearly lost that ball there. Intense battle between Edwards and Goulding, both in the England squad to play France at the International Stadium at Gateshead next Wednesday night. A lot of competition.
He lost the ball in Alan Hunt before he played it.
Oh, and so is Gibbs. Oh, and a beautifully flicked up there to Phil Clark, going for that corner, and a superb effort. Good tackle there by Phil Beavers, but Wigan piling in here now. Trigamala using his bulk, using his power, edging nearer, just held short. That was another good tackle there from Shane Cooper. But it's Wigan looking to add to those points. Back to Edwards. Dennis Betts. Well read there by Anthony Sullivan. Alan Hunt, rather, came in very, very well. To Sean Edwards. Henry Paul. One of the best of the youngsters in the game at the moment. Henry Paul, the Kiwi #1, and that will be a penalty. Holding down Henry Paul at the play of the ball.
Yeah, good drive here from Henry Paul. He wants to get up and play the ball quickly, but Sonny Nicol taking his time, messing around, and Holdsworth rightly penalising him.
And especially, Steve, in conditions like these, you know, we don't want to see players like Sonny Nicol lying on at the tackle. We want a good open game.
What Sonny was doing is trying to lay on top instead of just rolling away from him, letting him play the ball. He was always on top of him, pushing him back to the ground.
But in fairness, when you're that close to the line, it can be not good practice just to roll away. I would have thought he did want to try and get goal side of the play of the ball.
Is that not class of professional foul?
I wouldn't like to comment on that, Steve.
There's an old player speaking. So, Fran Botica to attempt the penalty. And unusually for him, already has one strike, which didn't prove accurate. Let's see if this one does. And it does. So, Botica back in his usual goal-kicking groove here at Central Park, much to the delight of the Wigan fans. And here we see Botica strikes it perfectly. No problems. And St Helens once again not taking their time with these kickouts. They're trying to trouble Wigan, get them back on this line. Kelvin Skerritt coming away. He's had a back injury in recent weeks, but a fearsome fighter up front. And there we see the territorial advantage already, yet Saints leading.
Yes, it's been an exciting first 14 minutes, end-to-end stuff, and to be honest, both sides are trying to seize the initiative.
Both coaches commented
Martin Hall inside to Edwards. Good tackle by youngster Cunningham, but it's Wigan, big hit and offside again. Well, certainly these teams should get the message by now. Wigan taking that tap penalty very, very quickly. Neither side wanting to give the other time to relax. Andy Farrell. Both coaches, I can see, have been working quite a lot this week on these second rows, coming in at angles. Dennis Betts. The pitch has dried out considerably now with the wind. Sean Edwards. Always a danger in midfield, always likely to offload the ball, is that number 7. And certainly this man, number 13, going out to Australia in the season for a couple of seasons with the Eastern Suburbs side. Sean Edwards again, he's got sport with him. Botica, Botica half getting away there from David Lyon. But the turnover on the 6th tackle. And interesting though, Wigan not putting the kick in there, Terry.
Yeah, no kick, but a massive gap appeared on Sean Edwards' inside, which could have been exploited, and I'm sure it would have been 6 points, Steve.
Yeah, it would have done. I think what we've found so far is both coaches did mention about the conditions, and handling could play a big part in this, but both teams have been prepared to throw the ball around and out wide, even inside their own 22.
Bobby Goulding trying to get Sullivan moving down that flank, and he does do so. Cuts inside very, very well. Chris Joint, he's got Bobby Goulding with him. Nice dummy. Out to Scott Gibbs. He's not the tallest of men, is this Welshman, but he's certainly a power to put down. Back to Goulding again. With the high kick. That's a tester for Henry Paul. Oh, for the two of them. It's dead. Well, I think Wigan were very, very lucky that that ball didn't go to one side, but Phil Vivers has taken a knock.
Fantastic up and under here, and lack of communication between Paul and number 4, Gary Connolly, and very lucky there. St Annans could have had some points there.
But if you're going to put up them high kicks, that's exactly the spot you want to put it up, right at the goalpost where the opposition have difficulties keeping their eye on the ball.
Phil Vivers back in action as the big man Andy Farrell kicks off, and that's why they have Andy Farrell dropping out. He's a big 17-stone lad. He can put the ball 40-50 metres between the Wigan line and the Saints attack. Cunningham likes to run from the acting half-back and made good yards. Sonny Nicol. Oh, Nicol just held up here. Got Anthony Sullivan. And Anthony Sullivan. And Alan Hunt, rather. His haircut is absolutely confusing me that he's had this week. But Alan Hunt is in there for the try. But it was the superb effort from Sonny Nicol. Well, they're all rubbing that haircut of Alan Hunt. It may bring him good luck. Certainly confusing, but nothing confusing about this try, Terry. Well worked.
Direct running from Sonny Nicol, the bump, the dip, and Martin Offiah just comes in, doesn't do anything, and that just gives Alan Hunt the opportunity to go around the outside. Fantastic try for Saints.
You'll see what happens here. Gary Connolly slow getting back. Now, this is unlike Wigan. They don't move forward in defence. They stand waiting. Nicol stands. He's going to offload here. Martin Offiah's overcommitted himself. Alan Hunt, a great left arm fend there, and a good try to St Helens and putting more pressure on Wigan.
And when you think that this man just 11 days ago had a 2-inch piece taken away from his cartilage, I mean, it really takes some guts to be playing wonders of modern surgery.
Yeah, the commitment of the player, the physio attendance that's been going on, it's an absolute testimony to the healing skills of himself and the club. And I'm sure they're glad he's out there now.
And one man who is glad he's out there is Bobby Goulding. And he'll certainly be glad if he can put this goal between the uprights. No, just fading across the front of the post there. But Wigan, the cup holders, with a lot to do, trailing by 12-6 to St Helens.
Yeah, we said that direct running would be order of the day, and Nicol produces a super example of just that. And here Hunt releases the ball into his right hand and uses the left hand fend, the handoff as we call it, and doesn't he just love it?
I have a feeling that goal kicks could actually count, Steve, in the long run.
It may well do. I was not going to say that when Wigan scored their first try that Bodica's miss could be costly.
St Helens using Scott Gibbs to come away with the ball.
For Cowie, 15 for 10.
St Helens now concerned about Phil Vevers. He got a bang on the left-hand side of his rib cage. It's making him play very gingerly, so they're going to watch him very closely. But Wigan now about to make a substitution. Neil Cowie, who took that injury to his left arm earlier on, will be coming off. Mick Cassidy, putting the skull cap on now, will be going into the fray.
Bobby Goulding taking the penalty very, very quickly. Mick Cassidy looking to enter the fray, another international forward.
You notice there, Ray, St Helens took the penalty kick that quick that referee Holsworth never have a chance to caution Wigan about holding down. I think you'll find if they could continue on another one, there may be a sin binning.
Into the action in the early stages, and this man Jonathan Neal losing the ball. Wigan surely pick it up, they do, with Sean Edwards. He's got to the overlap outside. Henry Paul now trying to come in and make the overlap, and St Helens look to be lining a substitute up. Andy Dannett, the big prop forward. It certainly will be very, very heavy work down there on that pitch. It's very heavy, lots of water in there. Saps the energy in those legs. Phil Clark, Calvin Scarrett. Nice slip pass there to Martin Hall. And the fifth tackle, Henry Paul caught in two minds. Back to Sean Edwards, where I think it should have gone originally. Up by Anthony Sullivan. Oh, and Sullivan! He's got a clean break! Now then, has he got the space? Has he got the legs? No, he hasn't! Gary Connolly did a tremendous job there. And Sullivan's lost the ball. He's giving a penalty, is Mr. Holsworth, against Wigan. He's saying that Wigan stole the ball, but it looks dicey to me, Steve.
You see, it's a great break here, and Gary Connolly is over the top. You can't see from this angle, but it looked like he may have just lost it. We need another angle if we could get it.
Well, whatever, it looks as if Gary Connolly is going into the sin bin. He's got a yellow card for that interference.
Yeah, I thought he just lost it, to be honest. He did really well, did Connolly, to recover, and he showed his true pace in catching Sullivan, but I didn't really think that he ripped that ball away. We'll perhaps have a look at this. Sullivan, full pelt. Connolly grabs him from the back, hits there, and it just pops out.
Good decision it was. His hand got him behind the ball, he flicked it out, Connolly. I think it's a good decision.
I disagree.
Well, whether you agree with it or not, I don't think, well, certainly Neil Cowie's upset about it, but I don't think Bobby Goulding's going to be too upset about it, and he'll not be if he can put this ball over that crossbar. Bobby Goulding then with another chance to add 2 points. Just outside. Well, I said not too long ago that I think these kicks could be very, very important as this game wears on. And really, you can't afford to miss those, Steve.
You can't. That's one apiece now. Broddick has missed one, Goulding's missed one that both should have got. So as we said before, Holsworthy warned Edwards earlier, someone to go in the sin bin, and they have.
Andy Dannett, who has been out of favour in recent weeks at St Helens. A chance here now to prove himself to coach Eric Hughes. And Cassidy on the field for Cowie, and slipped there by Bobby Goulding. Good play by Sean Edwards.
It was interesting, Ray, that St Helens winger, Tony Sullivan, let the ball go into touch, naturally assuming they're going to win the ball from the scrum, but it hasn't proved to be the case, of course.
And there is Mick Cassidy. There is Jason Robinson, as he likes doing best. Coming in midfield, beating man after man. Martin O'Fire. Nice pass. From O'Fire, Betts. This game swinging from one try line to the next. Suddenly the pressure back on St Helens. Nice switch again from Sean Edwards. Tringamala, he looks the danger to me every time the plays 8 or 9 metres from this St Helens line. They're bringing the big man in. Sean Edwards again. Out to Bottica. He's got Martin O'Fire inside him. Nice little rubber kick. Bottica's going in for it. Oh, he's just missed it. Oh, a wonderful Wonderful effort by Frano Botica. Superb grubber kick.
It's a great little kick through Botica. He'll give it another little nudge now, and it's just come off his knee. It's just a little bit too far there. They just seem to be a little bit disorganised at the minute, Wigan. They don't seem to be taking their right options in attack.
Well, when you look at it, St Helens have done to Wigan what Wigan do to many teams. They've seized the initiative, they've put the points on the board, and Wigan are looking visibly rattled.
Well, visibly rattled or not, Wigan, there's a long time to go in this fourth round, the Silk Cup Challenge Cup time. 25 minutes gone. Saints 12 points to 6 in the lead. The crowd roaring for a knock-on. And it is a knock-on. As Mr. Holsworth signifies after a close look at his touch judge.
Yes, young Cunningham here just takes his eye off the ball at the wrong point, and the resulting knock-on.
Sean Edwards at the pivot again, switching again. Swingamala coming in, looking for work. He has had a knee injury in recent weeks. He's had a lot of intensive treatment on it, but he certainly looks to be running well, as does this man, Harrow. Again, leaning on. And Mr. Holsworth's having a word with Shane Cooper. He said that this is twice St Helens have held on now. Should there be a third occasion, the next player will go to the sin bin. He's certainly heeding Greg McCallum's words.
He is, and that's what the game's all about. You've got to be consistent, and he's certainly doing that. And our game will certainly get better if referees keep doing what John Holsworth's doing now.
Surprised Frano Botica didn't have a shot at goal there.
Yes, I am surprised on that, Ray. I think that's another sign that Wigan really wanted to claw themselves back in, hence they're going for the 6 points with a try.
Good long pass to Henry Paul. Sean Edwards, he's got men queuing up outside, but not all well taken by Twingamala, but he couldn't hold it. Juggling with that ball on his fingertips.
You'll have a look here, Sean. He finds Frano Botica, and now the defence is good here. St Helens come a slide across field, no one coming to overcommit themselves, and their defence was spot on there.
I mean, it's unusual for Wigan to be losing the ball. Second tackle at this stage of the game. They're sort of playing catch-up rugby as early as now, Steve.
Well, that's what we were saying before. They're disorganised.
Nasty cut there to the substitute, Andy Dannett. Obviously, Jeanette Smith insisting that he goes into the blood bin. No player likes to come off with a cut. But the law is the law. Helens then in possession. Not in their usual red and white, of course, so as not to clash with the cherry and white of Wigan. Blue and white away strip. And Pick Evans coming back on for the Andy Dannett situation in the blood bin. Youngster Cunningham getting himself caught up there on the fifth tackle, and Bobby Goulding being pressured by Sean Edwards, but still gets that kick in, and a good one too. Goulding was under pressure. Sean Edwards knew where the ball was going, but that was a good kick from Goulding, settling the Saints down.
It's a top-class kick from Bobby Goulding. He knows what the game needs now. It's gone into touch. He's telling his players after the kick, settle down. We don't have to rush things because we're in front, and that's what Bobby will do. Just keep put Wigan back in their own 22 area.
Henry Paul.
It would be interesting, Ray, for St Helens to try and exploit this numerical advantage. With Connolly in the sin bin, they'd like to get some more points at this stage.
Pass from Martin Offiah, not of the highest order. And I must say, I am rather surprised, Steve, to see Wigan opening out the ball so much and so wide in these conditions in their own 20-metre area, not trusting to one or two packed drives, first of all.
Well, that's what I said earlier on, and you see what happens. As I said, the kick from Bobby Goulding was a smart one, put Wigan inside their 20-metre area, and they've come up with a mistake.
Gallagher in the way there, but not deliberately. St Helens certainly looking for more points here in this final 10 minutes of this first half. Youngster Cunningham, very confident lad for 18 years of age. His father, Eddie, was an international player. St Helens, Pickavance, driving it again. Oh, David Lyon lost that ball. Well recovered there by Henry Paul. And the touch judge, straight in, Mr. Blunden. I'm sure he saw something. There was certainly interference with Henry Paul.
A good piece of play again from Saint. Some fortunate play from Lyon, but I think an interference round Henry Paul's head area by Sonny Nicol there. That's the penalty, I feel.
Yes, certainly. Mr. Holsworth telling Sonny Nicol where he wants him to do the tackling. We definitely could see here that Sonny Nicol's hand coming across there, wiping across the front of that face. No need for it. And really, the initiative lost for St Helens.
Yes, they did just panicked a little bit. That was the second tackle again. At 1 point, perhaps would have been even useful for them at this stage of the game. And again, you know, just mistakes plenty.
Well, it was Pickavance there. He's seen the line there. Instead of a quick play the ball, he's tried to just push that pass a little bit too hard the line.
Wigan now trusting to those forwards. Kelvin Skerritt. Dennis Betts looking for support, doesn't find any. Still good tackling here from St Helens, but this is a good run now by Robinson. He's just recovering from that hamstring injury. Sean Edwards. Betts, this is good play. Hall, well covered. Just seconds remaining of Gary Connolly's time in the sin bin, so Wigan can be very well pleased with that 10 minutes. Surely Henry Paul was offside there, but a wonderful take by Steve Prescott, and he puts it away to Alan Hunt. Good play, adventurous play. He plays the ball himself, nobody marking. Back to Goulding. Cooper thinks better of it, turns it back inside to Goulding. Really, St Helens putting perhaps one or too many passes in at the moment.
Yeah, they don't really need to play the expansive game they are at the moment, and there are one or two players who just find it difficult to responding from defence to attack, the quick changeover.
And there is Gary Connolly back in the action. Chris Joynes. He'll want a good game against his hometown club. Chris Joynes, number 11 for Saints. Bobby Goulding. Sonny Nicol, well held. And Bobby Goulding again using that right foot, probing with the ball, but just doesn't quite find the touch.
That's not the kick you want in the situation. You want to keep Wigan close to their line, don't give them 6 tackles from their 22.
Cassidy, Andy Dannett still being patched up there in the dressing room. No doubt the St Helens club doctor inserting 1 or 2 stitches. There's about another 15 minutes remaining for him to be off the field. Back to Farrell. Good strong run by Andy Farrell there.
It's one of the classic questions, Ray. How do you beat Wigan? Well, Saints, if they're going to win this game, need to stay this scoreline up to half-time now.
Henry Paul looking to come into the action, an exciting player, good sidestepper off both feet, this young Kiwi. But the 5th tackle. Sean Edwards again now. What type of kick? It's a high one to that corner. Well taken by Sullivan. But again, good tackle by Tuigamala. And Prescott doing the right thing there, taking a player away from midfield, allowing the St Helens forwards to get back. Scott Gibbs doing something similar. After that opening flurry of points, Steve, defence is settled down in midfield.
Well, it has. It's tightened up. Both teams are tightened up in defence, and now it's just going to take some good play or some individual play to score a try now.
Vivas. Oh, and a good kick by Phil Vivas, the Australian from the Brisbane Souths club. 1984 when he arrived, and a very experienced player after 10 seasons at Knowsley Road. Pinpoint accuracy.
That's a leaf out of Bobby Goulding's book. That's where you want to put the football, deep in Wigan's territory, and put plenty of pressure on them in defence, and maybe they might come up with a mistake.
As well as pride at stake, £39,000 to the eventual cup winners at Wembley. And Robinson, he's lost the ball. And it looks as if we're going to have another gentleman. Chris Joint into the sin bin. Certainly, Mr. Holsworth standing no messing at these play the balls. Anyone stealing the ball, anyone lying on, dispatched to the sin bin. 10 minutes for Joint then. So St Helens' turn now to suffer with 12 men. Wigan looking for the advantage. Kelvin Skerry powering down that right-hand side now. Well, Mr. Holsworth couldn't be any clearer, could he?
No, he's been consistent, Ray, but this will be an interesting time now, these minutes up to half-time and the minutes after without the full 13 complement players for Saints. Wigan will chase some points in this period.
And they'll move it out wide here now to Ingamala, looking for an opening, hoping to move that powerful frame through, but good covering there once again by Phil Beavers, doing a good job at standoff, coming behind the pack. There he is again, number 6 for St Helens.
St Helens forward Andy Dannett has had 4 stitches inserted over his left eye. He will be within the 15-minute rule on blood bin, so I'll go back on after half-time.
And a mistake. Phil Clark just checking, but offside. As we see, Clark knocks on the ball. Botica picks it up in front of him. Offside.
He's just trying to rush it a little bit there, Phil Clark. He took his eyes off the ball, and Botica, who played it, picked it up in front of him.
And there is Andy Dannett, suitably stitched up.
The policy for Saints here will be 5 good drives and one of those pinpoint kicks from either Goulding or Beavers again.
He'll no doubt want to be coming back, I think. Very few forwards want to stay out very long from the fray. And I think Saints do have the advantage here that in this 10-minute spell, with Joint in the sin bin, Steve, they've got the luxury of a rest at half-time in between, haven't they?
Well, they have. But that could be a big part of this game. If they can hold Wigan out for this 10-minute period, it may be a good result, or help St Helens to a good result at the end.
Goulding once again just slicing that kick behind Robinson.
Great kick again from Goulding, we discussed this earlier, but it's interesting that they're putting the ball out, slowing the game down, therefore not letting Wigan get into any rhythm, any pattern, and this is a deliberate ploy that we're observing here.
Then they've got to watch out for the scrums on their left-hand side. Wigan's right, as a Jason Robinson getting the football.
Wigan then opening up once again near the line and looking very, very confident, especially down this left wing with Gary Connolly and this man, Martin O'Fire. To Ingamala. He takes some pulling down. As does this man, Kelvin Skerritts. But again, good tackle from the Saints skipper, Shane Cooper. Sean Edwards. He's got Cassidy with him. That was a good pass from Cassidy. Instinctive pass, but he knew that Farrell was alongside him.
Some great defence from Anthony Sullivan then.
Edwards launches Botica, but again Phil Beavers is moving well as a sweeper.
Yeah, he's a veteran Phil Beavers these days, but he's playing really well.
Martin O'Fire looks for Phil Clark. Oh, the kick just didn't come off. It was picked up there by young Cunningham. What a game this youngster's having.
Super sidestep there, Ray, as well to boot. Excellent piece of rugby there, but you just get a feeling that Saints seem to be coming up with the spoils at all the critical moments.
Alan Hunt, and again being held down. No, he's giving a penalty. He's giving a penalty against Alan Hunt for not standing up at the play of the ball. We'll have a look at this very closely.
Yeah, he lost the football there, but it's a hard decision. The referee's decided that he hadn't regained his feet, and he was lucky previous tackle not the same.
Well, I think he could have given the decision either way. The ball was dropped to the ground and Hunt's leg was held, but nevertheless, it's back into the action with Tuigamala. And Wigan piling the pressure on. Seconds ticking away for half-time. St Helens will not want to concede any points at this stage. 12-6, St Helens leading. Botica opening out play with Edwards. He's got Dennis Betts, to Kelvin Skerritt. Knock on.
They seem to be 6 and 7s in attack inside St Helens 22. They don't seem to know what's happening out there, Wigan.
Edwards here missing out a couple of players, and the ball just coming behind Skerritt, and yet another mistake.
And is there any need to miss out players when you've already got an automatic inbuilt overlap?
Not at this stage. With 3 or 4 tackles to go, they can still force directly towards the line. They're just not doing that.
You'd sooner be looking to a quick back row like Betts to give it to than a front row like Kelvin Skerritt close to the line.
The half-time hooter. Bobby Goulding, not quite sure, just hands the ball to John Holsworth. Good rivalry between those. A pat on the back for Sean Edwards. But St Helens leading 12-6, and I think very, very thankful to go in at half-time there for a rest, with only 12 men on the field at the moment. But hard work, heavy work, and I think the key to this match will be that will these...
And Ray French.
Well, we've had plenty of action, as we can see there, but I don't think the drama is quite over as yet. 40 minutes is a long time to hold a 6-point lead over a team as determined and as proud as Wigan. And if I might just mention the past, Terry, you were a player in the last team to beat Wigan in the Challenge Cup, Oldham, way back in February 1987. What must the mood be like now?
Yes, that's right, Ray. Fond recollections of that night. But Saints must now be thinking, what do we need to do? Well, I would say they need to keep in the game, try and get a few more points as early as possible in the half, but stay in the game with Wigan, because with the 6 points advantage, Steve, they have got the upper hand at this stage.
Well, they have. They've got the upper hand, and I think the key thing could be, if they can score first St Helens, they'll put a lot of pressure on Wigan. But on the other hand, Wigan are the champion team. They've got the wind behind their back. They've got Sean Edwards to dictate the kicking game, and I think if they have the right kicking game, don't keep putting the ball dead in goal, they can still win this.
Wigan will certainly be under instructions from the Kiwi coach, Graham West, to get some points on the board very, very quickly. It's their style. They usually hit teams either side of the whistle. But I'm sure St Helens, Eric Hughes will have said that, look, lads, this is your chance, and this is Andy Dannett's chance. Back on the field for Ian Pickavance after those 4 stitches. The pitch burning up very, very well now. The wind has dried out that pitch considerably. The new drainage that we can see has been put in there on the right-hand side has taken a lot of the standing water away. And I think we're in for a good 40 minutes. And Sean Edwards, incredible record, 36 cup ties, way back in 1988. It started with a 2-0 defeat to Bradford Northern here in conditions similar to this. He'll be determined to continue. We're underway.
Be interesting how Coach Graham West will have advised his troops. I would have thought he wants them to have a very direct game and take the yards and then look to the match winners to finish it off.
Martin Hall. Dennis Betts been running. Betts been running very, very near to the play of the ball. I mean, Betts is usually an out wide runner, Steve.
Well, what they've tried to do, Wigan, actually in the first half, they've tried to get behind St Helens, play the ball area.
That's what Edwards has just done. Edwards to Betts, and there is Betts. As Steve Sims just intimated, he's driving in there, just a metre short. But that's the first time the tactic has been successful. Sean Edwards moves it out wide to Botica. They've got a 3-1 on this outside. Good tackle there, well held by David Lyon and Alan Hunt. And that was a chance for Wigan. But the touch judge is coming in. And a little off-the-ball incident between Kelvin Skerritt and Andy Dannett. Mr. Holsworth just dealing with it very quietly, very calmly.
You see here, just a little backhander from Kelvin Skerritt there, and they've both been warned.
That was only a slap, that bit.
It was.
Didn't see any handbags, Terry. Well, it's St Helens now in defence. Goulding with Sonny Nicol. And Saints will want to hold this ball for as long as they can whilst Joint is still in that sin bin. Andy Dannett shrugs off one man, but good tackle by Botica. Phil Beavers, nicely switched. Scott Gibbs puts that grubber kick in. Robinson, well, I think shading him off. Henry Paul in two minds as to what to do. He beats Gibbs, coming down the middle now. Good run by Henry Paul. Conor Botica searching for that gap behind Saints' play the ball area. Finds Kieran Cunningham. Back to Kelvin Skerritt. Hall. Botica again, and John Edwards trying to launch these forwards on attack. Edwards going for the gap. He's got Dennis Betts there. Betts pounding again into that line. But once again a good tackle from Sonny Nicol. Put the pressure on St Helens. Cassidy driving for the line. Desperate defence here from Alan Hunt and Bobby Goulding. On the fifth tackle, Connolly trying to edge his way over, but no success.
They got what they deserved there, St Helens. They didn't deserve a try scored against them because three play the balls earlier. They should have been penalised, Wigan. They never regained their feet to play the ball.
Well, magnificent defence from St Helens, but they'll be desperate to get away from this line. They'll not want to be caught behind the line and be forced to drop the ball out. Neil, oh, and a risky pass there. I get the feeling that Saints, they're always prepared to put one too many pass away near the line.
Well, that's a characteristic of Saints anyway, Ray. But they'll never get a better chance than knocking Wigan out of the cup here. But this direct running of theirs is causing Wigan a little bit of problems.
Here's one man causing Wigan problems, Bobby Goulding. Oh, well taken by Phil Beavers. Almost on his bootstraps. Goulding again, he's having a good game in this scrum half. Nice pass to Scott Gibbs. He's got Sullivan with him. Goulding keeps the momentum going forward. Pushes Henry Paul back to that line. Good chasing.
What a risky pass that was.
Good solid tackling from St Helens forwards. And a knock on. And Martin Hall. A lapse in concentration. Martin Hall was trying to get the ball away before he'd actually picked it up. Well, I think it caught Phil Clark's foot.
It did, but Neil there was trying to kick at the ball. He missed it, but the Wigan player caught the ball and then Hall knocked on.
And here we see Chris Joint returning from the sin bin, and Saints will certainly welcome him, especially while they're down on this line. Phil Beavers. Gibbs. Well looked after by Farrell. Nice switch of play from Goulding. Twisting, turning, can't quite make that line. St Helens thinking here what to do, just to drive it in with Jonathan Neal, but edging nearer. Is it worth a drop goal eventually? To Phil Beavers, he's got some space there. Picked up, play on. Back to one, another 6 tackles. It was touched by a Wigan player. The short pass to Prescott, but no way through. Good tackle again from Farrell, but Saints still pressing. Scott Gibbs, well held. Sean Edwards never flinched there from the tackle. These sides fighting to get up to play this ball. To Sonny Nicol, but good defence from Wigan. Oh, and they forced that pass out to Sonny Nicol. There was no need for that from St Helens. That was bad play.
No need at all. That was the point of them forcing the issue, forcing the tackle, and that was a mistake.
Standing too flat. It's standing too flat in attack there, St Helens.
Saints coach Eric Hughes reminded his players at half-time that if they thought they'd done the work in the first half, they'll have to do twice as much in the second half, because nagging away at Eric Hughes' mind is the fact of stamina. He knows that some of his players lack full match fitness, and we're going to get harder and harder to stop.
Wigan edging nearer to this line. Sean Edwards now. Oh, brings Henry Paul in well now. Paul's good sidestepper to Ingamala with the power, with the 16.5 stone frame, and with the pass. Back to Hall again. Dennis Betts testing St Helens' defence, and he's in. Dennis Betts dives in there. He saw that line. He only just got over it by inches. But everyone counts 4 points. Few more important than that in his 13 tries this season.
You'll see here, Sean Edwards runs across, he brings Henry Paul back inside. He hasn't been involved a great deal, Henry Paul. He finds Twigamala. Now the strength of this man, he's able to stand in the tackle, finally offload back here, and you'll see the crucial point is here, Jonathan Neal. He just stands, look, stand there watching. When he realises Betts just steps around him and Sonny Nicol can't get across in time. But you've got to move forward in defence, not just stand there waiting for them.
An excellent piece of rugby from Wigan there, unloading in the tackle, and the support play, we're in the vicinity, and Betts doesn't miss those tries.
And Franobotica doesn't miss those either. 2 points then from the Super Boot. Wigan 12, St Helens 12, and as I said earlier, the drama hasn't finished.
No, young Hall does well here. He feeds in Betts and he spots the gap. Press off the left leg, round Neal, and as I say, good try, forward momentum, made it a conclusive try in my opinion.
Bobby Goulding. Picked up as usual by Edwards and fed to Farrell, as we've been wont to see from these kickoffs. So Wigan with no intentions of surrendering that proud record of never having been beaten in 36 successive cup rounds. And Henry Paul becoming more and more adventurous as this game wears on, moving in from that full-back position. The talented Kiwi and the talented Great Britain winger Jason Robinson. Betts again in that first receiver position and using his pace, beats St Helens' defence, but a good slide signing tackle there from Shane Cooper, but it's all the pressure coming from Wigan now. Sean Edwards to Connolly, all the pass misdirected.
I don't know if Eric Hughes has got any replacements, but they just run around Jonathan Neal again there, and I should be thinking that Eric Hughes will be wanting to get him off soon. He hasn't played for quite a while.
Well, Jonathan Neal hasn't played for quite some weeks, and he must be feeling the pressure.
Yes, it was interesting as well. Young Pickervans was having a storming first 20 minutes. I personally put him back on me.
Indeed, Annett, a lot of work then needed now from the Saints, but Graham West looks quite tense there. Steve Prescott not had an awful lot to do, but what he's had to do, he's done well. Just 10 minutes gone now in this second half. All square, everything to play for. Bobby Goulding forcing the pressure again with a kick. The pitch down in this bottom corner, perhaps the worst area of the pitch for running. All the scrums gone against the head, except for that one occasion when this man, number 7, Sean Edwards, stole the ball at the back of the scrum off Bobby Goulding. And a crowd of over 15,500 in these conditions, and the weather this morning bears testimony to the pulling power of these two great sides. Henry Paul's coming more and more in this game, Steve.
He is. He's just come out the area there. He's lost the ball in the tackle.
Cunningham shrugs off one man, driving in. What a good game this youngster's having. Solid, stocky, well-built hooker. Chris Joynt has plenty of pace. All the way around Swingamala. Anthony Sullivan offloads the ball to Bobby Goulding. And penalty against Mick Cassidy. On a high tackle. Just over the top of his head. It was a good job Bobby Goulding ducked there, I think. Or else I think Mick Cassidy could have been taking a walk for quite some time.
We see Bobby Goulding here stepping off the right leg at pace, just ducking under the tackle, and Cassidy with a swinging arm. Loose play from Cassidy, and could be costly 2 points, that.
Substitute, Cassidy.
It breaks the deadlock, this, if he kicks the goal, but if the scores happen to be even at any stage of this game, the pitch may come into play there because it may be difficult to drop field goals.
So a very important kick here for Bobby Goulding. Normal conditions, he would slot this over any day, but these are not normal conditions. Very, very heavy underfoot, very slippy, and the pressure immense on this 23-year-old halfback. Could he yet prove the hero? Bobby Goulding with the kick and with the 2 points. So St Helens once again, courtesy of that flailing arm of Mick Cassidy, take the lead. 14 points to 12. And I think that Saints coach Eddie Hughes will be delighted with that kick. And there is the foul, the swinging arm by Cassidy. Only the fact that Bobby Goulding ducked underneath saved any damage.
But as you're saying, he's 23-year-old Bobby Goulding, but he's certainly got plenty of experience, and he can certainly handle the pressure.
And I think Saints coach Eddie Hughes has taken Terry Flanagan's advice. Rick Evans being rested, being brought on for Jonathan Neal. Neal did very, very well to come back into this game after such a long absence with injury. Andy Dannett. Good surging run by the former Hull prop. Chris Joynt. Dannett. Getting through a lot of work now, Andy Dannett.
Yeah, good solid forward, and these guys are driving hard, and Goulding's kicking well, which is giving St Helens the lifeline in the second half. They're just shutting out Wigan at the moment, and it's an important stage.
And significantly, Bobby Goulding there driving down to this bottom left-hand corner where all the rain and the wet was this morning.
It is. As I said in the first half, Bobby Goulding is in front. They'll just keep turning them around, hoping that Wigan will come up with a mistake in their 22 area.
Henry Paul. And St Helens will want to keep Wigan in this 20-metre area. Wigan desperate to get away. Martin Hall. To Sean Edwards, a little hesitancy there, I think, in the Wigan ranks. I think Wigan were expecting that ball to go round the blind side, but just look at that possession there in this half. St Helens really taken the initiative.
Yes, they are indeed, and it's interesting that Wigan seem to have gone off the boil again. They started brightly, but they have gone off the boil in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Phil Clark driving down the centre. Hall and Edwards leading the charge now. He's got Swingamala coming on that short. But he's lost that ball again. Did he go forward? No, says the referee. Kelvin Skelly puts the kick in. Surely the fire was offside there, but play on. It doesn't matter. And it's Saints in possession. And surely wanting just to settle things down. Evans again, complete with the clean jersey, And sensible play from St Helens. And another good run by Dannett. Risky pass though, I think.
Yeah, after he passes, you see Andy settle it down. He knows he shouldn't have passed that ball then, but they still retain possession.
And it's Pickerman striding down the middle. He's got Bobby Goulding alongside him. Henry Paul, he's put that kick in. Phil Clark's first to the ball. Good play, good cover by the loose forward. And Martin Afire coming away, but finding a couple of defenders. Good cover play by Clark there. And a silly, needless penalty there by Saint skipper Shane Cooper. And once again, when St Helens get themselves down here, we'll just look at this and just look how they take the pressure off Wigan. Interference, no problem, it's a penalty. Dennis Betts, the try scorer, and Betts looking dangerous now.
Yes, come more into the game this second half of Clark and Betts. They're obviously taking the logical thought of playing a more direct game, and you know they are proving a little bit as though they can seize the game.
They don't need play like that, Wigan. They're trying to push it. They're only 2 points behind, and there's plenty of time in this game left, but they're trying to push passes at every opportunity.
Well, I mentioned earlier on that possibly this last 20 minutes would be a dangerous time for St Helens, Steve. A lot of people coming back from injury, a lot of tired legs on a heavy pitch.
Well, it could have, but the other effect is that they've got a sniff that they can win this game, and once you get that feeling that you're on top, especially with a team like Wigan, the adrenaline pumps, and you find that little bit of extra energy for the last 20 minutes.
Bobby Goulding. Not the best of passes. I don't think Bobby would be pleased with that. Just having a little argument with Phil Vivers. I think what was intended didn't quite happen. And in fact, it could almost have been an interception.
Yeah, it's very dangerous pass that. But Goulding was just trying to find a gap on the outside, but to no avail.
To Wingamala. Looking for one of those crashing runs. Shrugs off Gibbs. But well held by Steve Prescott. Wigan forcing their passes now, looking to points. Gary Connolly. Jason Robinson. You can never let this wingman get away. He jinks, he darts about. Conor Botica launching Skerritt. Skerritt shrugs off Andy Dannett. Wigan making slow but steady progress here now down this side. Sean Edwards, two done with Stringamala. The hurried pass, but Henry Paul's got some space there. The pitch beating him on the fifth tackle. Sean Edwards to Dennis Betts with a little grubber kick. Prescott's covered it. One of the advantage of not being tall in stature. Prescott getting down there very, very well. It's a good kick by Dennis Betts. Very brave fall by Prescott, and took a knock in the process. All accidental. Sonny Nicol. And there is Steve Prescott. Took a knock to the knee as well. And the back.
They're unlucky not to get a penalty there, Wigan. Paul was offside. He was never at the marker area, yet he turned around and got involved with that tackle.
Onto the ball, beating Henry Paul there. Oh, he's dropped it. Picked up by Sullivan. He's got some space. But good cover tackle again by Twingamala. He got back well there. Bobby Goulding spots to the gap. Sean Edwards looks after him. But St Helens back on the attack. Vivers to Pickavance. Just get the feeling one of these defences could break. Shane Cooper can't weave his way through. Vivers trying trying to get the ball away, but good clamping there. I begin to wonder, you know, Steve, whether somebody should be looking for a drop goal, and there is one from Bobby Goulding. He's dropped it. Well, I think the time was ripe for a drop goal. That puts greater pressure on Wigan, because of course they must now, to take the lead, score a try.
Yeah, it's a great play there by Bobby Goulding. It's a great call from you, Ray, there. Picked the field goal coming, but as I said before, if there's anyone in your team that can handle the pressure, it's certainly Bobby Goulding.
And Paul Aitchison coming on for Henry Paul at full back, and Neil Cowie coming back on the field for Kelvin Scarlett.
Interesting point that, Ray. We're now entering the last 20 minutes, and we spoke earlier about concentration, fitness. What a great time to have another point on the scoreboard, and that would just augur St Helens well in the last 20 here.
This match certainly is now about concentration. Prescott happily recovered from his knocks. St Helens clinging for dear life to this ball. Pickavance, he's had a good game this afternoon. Chris Joynt. Good tackle from Phil Clark. Andy Dannett. Looked impressive as this young Pickavance. On the fifth tackle. The ball suitably served up to Bobby Goulding again, and Goulding using that right boot, testing Paul Aitchison this time, the substitute, the new Welsh fullback. Very, very good game in that win over England at Ninian Park. And Twigamala. Well, like two sumo wrestlers there knocking each other about.
It was tenacious. Gibbs wasn't going to be beaten on that occasion, and he had 2 or 3 goals at the big fella. But I must comment on Bobby Goulding's kicking game. He's had an absolutely superb game kicking, and has been significant in this, making it the game it has been.
One try could seal this match. One try could take one side into the draw on Monday. 16 minutes remaining. Sean Edwards looking for those points. Trying to open out play here. Farrell. Looking a little hesitant there as Gibbs coming in once again on the fifth tackle. Nice kick and chase by Jason Robinson. Prescott's there. He picks it up. I don't think it was a knock-on, no, says referee Holsworth. The ball was behind him. And Bobby Goulding once again back there in defence. Those grubber kicks are very, very dangerous on this pitch, Steve, aren't they? Because even though you're diving for the ball, it can always move out of your grasp.
Okay, because it's slippery and you're sliding on the ground, the ball's sliding, and you have to make sure you cover that up. And that was a good call from the referee, because it definitely went backwards.
The St Helens pack are having the better of the spoils up the middle, Ray. They're running very direct, they're running straight, and they are running with great conviction.
Well, St Helens last beat Wigan in the Challenge Cup way back 1977, 18 years ago, by 9 points to 4 here at Central Park.
Kelvin Scarlett, you've got to give some credit to St Helens for this performance, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, they've come today, you know, obviously they're interested in winning the Cup, and they come and give it 100%, and they're going well. They're winning by 3 points, with 16 minutes left, hopefully they'll have to push hard and pull it back.
We're going to get harder to stop in those 16 minutes, aren't they?
Well, you know, it's all to play for. We don't give up easily, and I'm sure, you know, it's going to be a few more points on the board before the end of the game.
Thanks, Kelvin.
Well, I think I would agree with Kelvin Scarlett's sentiments there. I remember watching them come back from the dead, 1918 at Halifax back in 93, and 22-21 at the Boulevard against Hull last year. Oh! But he dropped it. Prescott picks it up, and he gets himself out of danger well. Good run by that St Helens fullback, and he's coming down the field. Tremendous effort from young Prescott there. He recovered himself well and gained 30 metres. St Helens now moving up. Pickavance. But as Kelvin Scarlett said, there's a long, long time to go, Terry, isn't there?
What a catch and take, an amazing run from Prescott. That was absolutely superb play from the youngster.
Starting to struggle a little bit in defence now, Wigan. They're not moving forward, they're letting St Helens make too much yardage.
Bobby Goulding, he was contemplating A kick, back to Shane Cooper. Phil Vevers. Wigan defence holding well. Andy Dannett. Chris Joint raiding from the 18 half-back. Oh, good tackle by Swingamala there, very solid around the midriff. Shane Cooper, he's got Bobby Goulding with him. Goulding, can he get away from the clutches? An attempt by Pickavance for another drop. Oh, yes! And Pickavance, a drop goal from the prop forward. Well, Terry, I said he used to be a back. Oh, there's some intelligence there in that prop forward.
The game's changing, Ray, when we've got guys like this putting such spontaneity and class on the game. He just took his time, brought the foot back, and over she goes. What a great drop goal. He's had a good spell, this guy, Pickavance, Steve.
He has, he's had a very good game. But the thing you'll find here, that this 1 point, we're talking about St Helens getting tired, every little point helps, and every time they get that little bit further in front of Wigan, their adrenaline's going to get pumped that little bit harder, and I don't think we're going to see too many players getting tired out there.
Superb execution from Pickavance.
St Helens in possession. David Lyon. There is Ian Pickavance from the Swinton Club. Sonny Nicol. Oh, and good run by Sonny Nicol. Tremendous effort there by the Great Britain second row forward. These St Helens forwards beginning to make ground now. There is Cunningham making ground. A lot of tired players on this field. It's a test, is this next 12 minutes. Pickavance. Oh, looking for support. Still nobody there. Neil Cowie content to clamp that ball on the fifth tackle. Bobby Goulding again looking for his favourite corner here at Central Park. Just rolls into touch.
It's a long time since you've seen Wigan fall off tackles, miss tackles, opposition players standing in tackles and looking for support play, and a great kicking game from Bobby Goulding there. He's on top of his form.
Yeah, as the rain closes in, Stephen Ray, I can just feel a little upset on the cards. It reminds me of those feelings back in '87 when we last beat Wigan.
I didn't think you're that old, Terry, actually.
And yet, Terry, that went right to the dying seconds. The winning goal was kicked in the dying seconds. We've a lot of time left here in this match yet. Neither of these sides is through to the next round. Wigan have not won this Challenge Cup for 7 years. Successively for nothing. St Helens defending for dear lives here. Martin will fire. Just one chance from this man. Cassidy. Good run there by Mick Cassidy. Sean Edwards looking to launch one or two of these forwards to Botica. Botica's got Cowie outside him. He cuts inside, gets it back to Farrell. This is dangerous here from Wigan now. Good run by Andy Farrell. Still held up, gets the pass away. Paul Aitchison going for that line. Just held down there by Anthony Sullivan. Desperate defence here from St Helens. Cowie charging for the line. It's the sixth tackle. Desperate defence from St Helens there.
It was desperate, and they've done extra well there. They had a lot of chances, Wigan, then, and St Helens just come up with a last-ditch tackle each time.
And I'm sure that Shane Cooper, the St Helens skipper, will just be telling these forwards, hold this ball, drive it away, take it in ones, absorb the sequence of six. And then Mr Goulding, the little general, I think will pop up on that 6-1. 10 minutes left. 16 points to 12 for St Helens. We couldn't have a game more delicately poised. Paul Aitchison.
What we can't discount, Ray, though, is the number of match winners that Wigan have got in their side. And if you think a spark of genius from Tuigamala and a kick from Botica, it can all be over the other side.
Robinson does well there too. Trying to launch Tuigamala to Connolly. Connolly's got a fire inside him now, then a fire. He's got the blistering pace to go all the way, this man. Held, he gets it to Martin Hall. Martin Hall going for the corner. And Martin Hall is in at the corner. Tremendous play from Wigan. Relief from those supporters. And it's back all square. Wigan 16, St Helens 16. Who was saying that Wigan were out of the Challenge Cup yet? One flash from Martin O'Fire, but it was this pass from Twingamala that set it all up.
Yeah, great pass, stood in the tackle, off-way to the Conley, a fire on the angle. I'm not so sure about this pass here. There's a little hit of a forward, I think, to Martin Hall, but Martin O'Fire's done well, come in looking for the ball. They look forward on this angle to me, but it's been awarded. And Martin Hall, good try.
Twingamala started it, Connolly continued, and this man of fire hasn't done much today, just hit the accelerator button and was away. We spoke about a flash of genius, and there we go. Hall supporting, great play from Wigan, and Hall, excellent try.
And just look at the delight on Martin Hall's face. And the pressure on Frano Botica. 2 goals from 3 attempts, and if anyone wanted to put the house mortgage on a kick, this was the man you would back. The prolific point-scoring Kiwi, but he's right out on the touchline. The pressure is on him. It's all square. He's not got a good foothold out there to come in to approach the ball, and there is a problem. It's no goal. So, all square, 16 each. Fans biting their fingernails, dare I say.
Oh, they are. 10 minutes to go, well, under 10 minutes to go. 16 apiece. There's still a lot of exciting rugby league left in this game.
Yeah, we see the genius of a fire just coming through the middle like a hot knife through butter, and that really just set the old platform for Hall, who's having a good game as Martin Hall, and he just fends off number 2, Alan Hunt, for a great try.
Just less than 7 minutes remaining then here, and Martin Hall brought Wigan back level with St Helens. Dennis Betts had a good strong running game in midfield, and Jason Robertson taking a little pressure, as he regularly does, off this Wigan side. But a tremendous defensive stint from St Helens, just breached out wide there. One flash from a fire. Neil Cowie running well down the left-hand side there. Cowie quite fresh in comparison. And Wigan look to be coming to life again now. Wigan looking to have a fresh breath on the 5th tackle. Back to Sean Edwards with a high ball, a tester. Oh, Prescott's lost it. Wigan driving for the line. It just goes over. Panic stations there. The old adage, never let a ball bounce, always get underneath it to catch. He didn't.
No, he didn't. Steve Prescott has let it bounce. Yeah, he's just pulled Frano Botica back there. May have been a little hint of a pull back, but they've come up with a good play for them, St Helens. They've got a 22-metre cap.
I thought that was a clear penalty, Ray. To be honest, Prescott got hold of Botica. He knew he didn't have the ball, and that was a penalty in my book.
Yeah, he was certainly lucky to get away with that. Shane Cooper. And it's Saints' turn now, driving in. And I'm sure they'll be looking for a drop goal. They're taking this ball straight up towards these posts. Cooper looking for a prop forward, that's what he wanted, but it's Bobby Goulding with an attempt at the drop. Oh, he's hit the upright! It was a superb effort because Sean Edwards knew exactly what he was doing. He pressured him, and that right foot of Goulding's just snaked around. But still, under 5 minutes left. Wigan 16, St Helens 16. Martin O'Fire again, looking for a gap. Twingamala using all his strength, all his force.
Yeah, you'll see here Bobby Goulding. Sean Edwards done all right there. He come out, put plenty of pressure on Bobby. He's just hit the post.
Another enforced error from Wigan there has led Saints back into this position. They may go for that same plan again, Steve.
I think they will. They just work straight up the middle. No, they've come up with lost possession.
And St Helens lost possession there at the wrong time. Just 4 minutes remaining. We could be going into a replay here. There will obviously, I think, have to be a meeting after at the end of this game between the police and the league authorities as to when this replay takes place. But of course, we've got one problem. We've got the England-Wales game on Monday that will interfere with any replay. But plenty of time left.